Why nature lovers say this could help save us from this. And Newsround takes you back to the future. Hello again, and first tonight, an idea to recycle stone to stop the countryside from being dug up. In a report out today, the Council for the Protection of Rural England says builders should use more recycled stone from broken down old buildings instead of mining more of it out of the ground and damaging the landscape. For Newsround, Julian Cousins reports.
Open cast mining. It's an efficient, cheap way of getting minerals out of the ground. Every day, 10,000 tonnes of limestone are taken out of this quarry alone in Derbyshire. It's the largest in Europe. The stone's used as what's called aggregate for building roads and houses, or as a raw material in factories. But the price for the countryside's too high, according to Fiona Reynolds of the Council for the Protection of Rural England.
Mineral extraction, it really is one of the most damaging of activities. It takes away whole chunks of countryside, often in very beautiful parts of the country.
At the same time, thousands of tonnes of stone from old demolished buildings goes to waste. Much of it simply dumped back in landfill sites. It's cheaper to buy fresh raw materials than reuse old ones. The environmentalists say that's all wrong. They want new buildings designed to last longer, so they don't need replacing so often. 4 million tonnes of England is dug up every year. That figure is likely to be much higher in the future. Long afterwards, the scars will remain, and they may never heal properly.
Within the last 2 hours, it's been announced that Britain will give £2.5 million to Bangladesh as it struggles to cope with the devastation caused by Monday night's cyclone. And an appeal's been launched by Bangladeshis living in Britain to help their country, which says it can't cope alone. The cyclone was the most powerful to hit the area in living memory. The country's coastal regions bore the brunt of the storm, and at Chittagong, Bangladesh's main port, officials say more than 25,000 people were killed. About 10 million people live along the coasts. Many of their homes were made of straw and mud. They didn't stand a chance. Some outlying islands are still totally underwater, and no one knows how many people were drowned. Getting aid to the affected areas is hard. Airports are underwater, roads cut off and trains stranded. A few helicopters have begun delivering emergency food and water, but it's difficult for them to find places to land. The homeless are already suffering and diseases will spread quickly. Relief workers say unless much more food, medicines and water reach survivors soon, their lives are also at risk. Still in the Far East, rescue services, which have difficulty reaching the victims of accidents and fires because of narrow streets, are being helped by 2 new inventions. And they could be record breakers. On this tiny island near Hong Kong, the streets aren't wide enough for normal vehicles. So what could be the world's smallest fire engines have been created. Despite their size, they can deal with any emergency. The only things that won't fit on are the firefighters themselves. They have to run alongside. And if they're injured people to rescue, a mini ambulance is ready and waiting to help. In America, a new ride based on the Back to the Future films has just opened. And Newsround's reporter Paul Welsh has not only had a go, he also met the star of the films, Michael J. Fox.
They call Orlando in Florida the entertainment capital of the world, and Universal Studios is one of the favorite sites. They do make movies here, but they also bring some of Hollywood's most famous old films back to life with breathtaking rides. From E.T. to King Kong. But today, there's even more excitement in the air than usual. Because today they're launching a new ride based on the film Back to the Future. Where the 3 films ended, the ride begins, and the launch was spectacular. Everything's fine with Doc's time train. He only wishes the story was the same with the DeLorean.
I'm gonna take a little joyride. Biff! Hasta la bye-bye!
Biff the bully has stolen the DeLorean time machine. Our job is to get it back.
The fate of the entire universe rests in your hands! Showdown in the year 2015!
Michael Fox has gone on ahead. I've arranged to meet him in 2 years' time. That's an amazing ride.
It's a great ride.
Is it like being in the movie?
Well, it's hard to explain. Mary Steenburgen, who was Clara in Part 3, was on the ride with me, and she said she was watching my face because I was reacting for real in a way that I had been pretending to react for 3 movies now.
You've done some amazing things. You've been a cowboy. You've ridden on a space-age skateboard. Is real life just boring after that?
Yeah. No, real life is great. It actually makes you appreciate real life. To be able to do this for a living, and you know, all I really do, you know, my job is to pretend. It's like, you know, when you're playing and you say you pretend you're a cowboy and you pretend you're an Indian or whatever. That's just my job.
Do you feel lucky to be doing it?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. But you don't dwell on it because you don't want to call too much attention to it. You just, you know, kind of this one. Just sneaking through, you know, nobody's caught me yet.
Michael had to go back to the future. And at the ride, other people were ending their time travels too.
What was that like?
It was fun. It was like a roller coaster.
What was good about it?
When they got swallowed by the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Monsters were all over you when you were riding on the ride. And you were scared. It looked like you were in somebody's mouth.
Most people going back to the future do get back to the present. But it's just possible you might get caught.
Now all I've got to do is find my way back to 1991. This is Paul Wells for Newsround in Florida.
Well, that looked absolutely brilliant. And finally today, they do say that diamonds are a girl's best friend. And a priceless gem that can be my friend any day of the week has gone on show at the Tower of London. Newsround's Terry Badu reports.
Rare, beautiful and flawless, the centenary diamond is one of the most precious stones ever plucked from the earth. Experts say it's priceless. The world's 3rd largest diamond was mined in the Transvaal in South Africa and began life looking like this. The man with the job of polishing its rough edges, Gabi Tulkowski, was in awe of its beauty.
This stone was the rarest, the most incredible diamond I've ever seen in my lifetime.
The heart-shaped gem took 3 years to finish and weighs around 55 grams. The owners plan to put it on show around the world as a unique example of a glittering work of art.
Dare I say it? What a gem. Ooh, that's all from Newsround for today. We're back around the same time tomorrow. Until then, bye-bye.